What's going on, everybody? Badger DIY here, back again. So my custom retro console is finally finished, and honestly it turned out way better than I expected. In this one we're gonna take a look at the whole build, go over the specs, and of course see how it performs with some of my favorite retro games. Recently I upgraded to Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 in that jet black color. And while I was digging through my older devices, I thought, why not repurpose one of them? And if you're anything like me, you probably have a couple of old phones just sitting in your drawer. Turning one into a dedicated retro handheld is one of the best way to bring it back to life. So from left to right here, I got the Galaxy S10, S21, Flip 5 and the S22 Ultra. And my S24 Ultra is actually the camera I'm using to film this video. Now it's time to choose one of those devices and turn it into an ultimate handheld gaming console. In future videos, I'll be transforming the others for different purposes, but for today's build, I'm going with the S22 Ultra. The S21 will stay as a backup, and the S10, well, it's a bit too old for what I've got planned here. Okay, so before we get started, let's do a quick spec check on the S22 Ultra. We got a beautiful 6.8-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display running at 1440p QHD+, with a 120Hz adaptive refresh rate, absolutely perfect for both retro and modern gaming. Powering this thing is the Exynos 2200 chipset paired with AMD X5 920 GPU based on RDNA 2. This setup has no problem handling emulation from PSP and GameCube all the way up to some Nintendo Switch titles. We got 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, and yeah, no SD card slot on this one, so we'll have to work with what we got. On the softer side, we are running Samsung latest One UI with full Samsung DeX support for that console-like experience. It's all powered by a 5000 mAh battery with 45-watt fast charging, USB-C for controllers, and HDMI output through DeX. Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2 and full 5G support. And of course we get those extra, the S Pen, AKG tuned stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos and the premium IP68 rated aluminium and glass build. This thing is absolutely stacked. If this sounds like your kind of project and you want to see more builds like this, don't forget to hit that like button, get subscribed and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. For controls, I'll be starting out with my EasySMX M10. It's a solid USB-C controller that pairs up really easily with Android. But throughout the video, I'll also be testing out the X5 Lite controller just to see how it stacks up in terms of comfort, build quality and overall gaming performance. By the end of this video, we'll see which one I'll actually stick with for this setup. When it comes to front ends, I've actually got 3 ready to go. Our first one, we have Daijisho. ESD, which is basically emulation station for Android, and Beacon. I haven't fully decided which one I'll stick with, so in this video I might just show you all 3 in the action, so you can decide which looks and feels best for you. Now as for systems, I'll be running on the S22 Ultra. Yeah, 128 gigs of storage isn't a ton, but we'll make it work. We got everything from NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance all handled beautifully through RetroArch. N64 is covered by Map64 Plus Next, PS1 with DuckStation, PSP using PPSSPP from the Play Store and DS with Melon DS. For the heavier stuff, GameCube is running on Dolphin, Dreamcast on Flycast, PS2 using Ether SX2, 3DS with Citra MMJ, and even some Nintendo Switch titles using Sudachi. Okay, let's go ahead and get everything installed. First up, I'm grabbing RetroArch from the RetroArch website. This is gonna handle most of our 8-bit, 16-bit and even some 32-bit system. Then for the standalone stuff, I'll be installing PPSSPP for PSP, Dolphin for GameCube, Melon DS for Nintendo DS, Aether SX2 for PS2, and Citra MMJ for 3DS. Once the emulators are installed, I'll go ahead and set up the front end. I'll start with Daijisho since it's super clean and easy to configure. Then we'll load up ESDE for that full emulation station experience. And finally, trial Beacon just to compare. From here, it's just a matter of adding the games to each system folder, scrapping the box art, and making sure the controls are mapped correctly for both the EasySMX M10 and the X5 Lite controller. First up, we got Beacon. This one is all about simplicity, super clean interface, fast navigation, and just enough customization to make it feel personal without being overwhelming. Let's start light with the NES. Super Mario Bros. 3. Loads instantly, plays buttery smooth through RetroArch, and is just a perfect nostalgia trip. Moving up to SNES with Super Metroid, no slowdown at all, audio is spot on, and the EasySMX M10 handles perfectly here. For handheld fans, here's the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap on GBA. Bright colors really pop up on this AMOLED display and the controls feel great. And to push it a little further, here's God of War on PSP using PPSSPP. This one is a bit heavier, but it's running smooth and looks fantastic on the S22 Ultra. Next, let's move over to ESDE, Basic Emulation Station for Android. This front end feels more like a dedicated console dashboard, and it's perfect if you want that living room gaming vibe. We'll kick things off with Mario Kart Double Dash on the GameCube. Using Dolphin here, and it's running beautiful, nice steady frame rate and responsive controls. For Dreamcast, we got Crazy Taxi running through Flycast, smooth 60 FPS gameplay, crisp texture, and it still holds up as one of the most fun arcade racers. And for a small stress test, here's Dragon Ball Z on PS2 with Ether SX2. This is a bit heavier title for my mobile emulation, but for the Exynos 2200 is handling surprisingly well. And finally, Daijisho, my personal pick for this build. I just love the clean layout, smooth animation, and the way it handles game art and metadata. Let's start with Mario Kart 7 on 3DS, running through Citra MMJ. Smooth frame rate, bright colors, and the stereoscopic 3D effect is emulated perfectly here. Now for something a bit modern, Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the Switch using Sudachi. So performance isn't perfect, but it's impressive to see it's running on a phone. And to wrap things up, here's Metal Slug Anthology PS2, fast action, responsive controls, and a great way to end the gameplay showcase for this build. And as a little bonus for this video, I wanted to show you another option if you plan on using Samsung DeX. You can grab this console launcher straight from GitHub. Just download, install, and enable DeX support in the settings. Once it's running, you get a really nice, clean interface that works great with gamepad or even a remote. For a quick test, I'm loading up Rayman Legends. Runs smooth, looks fantastic on the big screen, and it really gives you that console experience without extra hardware. So in the end, all three front ends work great, but for me, Daijisho takes the top spot. It's just the smoothest, cleanest, and the most enjoyable to use on a handheld device. The EasySMX M10 performed really well across the board, but the X5 Lite definitely held its own. If you're sitting on an older phone, this is such a fun way to repurpose it into something completely new. Whether it's retro gaming, cloud streaming, or even a mini console setup in DeX mode. If you enjoyed this build and want to see more projects like this, make sure to hit that like button, get subscribed so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, thanks for watching.